All right, my name is Aaron Deal, and I'll be discussing combat lifesaving with you guys. Combat lifesaving is one of the most important tools you can learn in the military. It is used to save lives on the battlefield, and what's important about it is that it's been used in other professions outside the military, like the law enforcement, and even other military forces around the world. One of the most important acronyms learned in combat lifesaving is AVPU. The A stands for alert, the V stands for verbal, the P stands for pain, and the U stands for unconsciousness. Here I will demonstrate how to go deep into the aspects of conducting AVPU on a casualty.
Pat! Pat! Where's your pain coming from?
My knee.
Where? Right here?
Yeah.
We're gonna get you to a hospital, man. Be easy, alright?
Yeah.
I'm here with you.
All right, so basically when I was doing the alert for AVPU, the biggest risk involved in that is possibly be under fire when you're in the battlefield. You could get gunshots, you could get somebody sneaking up on you, and you have to worry about the other people who are in your unit or the other people who could possibly be hurt at the time. All these things are going on at the same time. You have to be assertive as fast as possible. Now, with me being verbal, that's probably the easiest one. Usually when you're verbal, there's not a lot going on the battlefield. There's not that many gunshots going on. There can be, but usually when you're doing verbal is when you're more taking your time. You really want to get that hands-on to save the casualty.
Patrick! Pat! Alright. Here goes nothing. Alright, he's good. He's finding the pain. Pain's probably coming from here. Gosh.
Now, as you saw me putting my fist into his chest, this is to obviously see if he has any pain. Usually when I do that, it's usually when there's no gunshots on the battlefield, the area is calm, and I'm just doing regular tactical field care.
Pat! 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 He's not breathing.
Now, when you saw the casualty being unconscious, I was trying to communicate with him, but he wasn't responding, obviously. So the next thing I would do is put my ear up to his mouth to try to see if he's breathing. And if he's not breathing, that's when I would do mouth-to-mouth for every 5 seconds to try to get his air back into his lungs. Now, when the casualty was unconscious, there's 2 things I could have done. 1, put my ear up to his mouth to make sure he was still breathing. And 2 was do mouth-to-mouth and make sure that air was going into his lungs every 5 seconds to keep his pulse up. Now, as crazy as that sounds, this is not CPR. This is CLS. So those are the only things I can do. I cannot do chest compressions. That's the biggest difference between CLS and CPR. When it comes to combat lifesaving, there are 3 different types of care. Tactical field care, care under fire, then tactical evacuation care. And there's another acronym, HABC, to memorize for CLS. There's hemorrhaging, airway, breathing, and then circulation. Okay, tactical field care is used when there's no longer gunshots. So when the enemy is no longer rendering an attack against you, that's when you can perform the CLS on the casualty, and you can possibly revive him and he can help you out. So when the enemy is no longer rendering an attack against you, that's when you can perform the CLS on the casualty, and you can possibly revive him and he can help you out and get back to his duty and in assisting you on the battlefield. Care under fire is when there's enemy contact. So you have guns shooting at you, when there's all this chaos going on, and you might see one of your battle buddies actually hurt. Okay, so while all this is going on, you take cover, you quickly revive your battle buddy and make sure he doesn't die. And that's what care under fire is. Evacuation care is when there's enemy contact, and then one of your battle buddies is hit on the ground. And what you want to do is you want to evacuate your battle buddy to a safer location while you're being shot at. So it's a big risk. So as soon as you pick up your battle buddy, you may want to implement the fireman's carry like I showed you, and then take him to a safe location in order for you to assist and assess the wounds that he has in order to get back on the battlefield and defeat the enemy. One of the important tools from the CLS bag is the needle decompression and the bandage. The reason why the needle decompression is so important is that if you get shot in the chest or in the lung, basically that opens up the wound. And basically when that happens, outside air comes into the lung and it expands inside your chest, causing the other lung to possibly collapse. So what you do is you cover up the wound, and then you put the needle in between the clavicle and in between the soft part to reach the lung. And then once you stick that in, there's a top that's connected to the needle. You lift up that top, and then air is accessed through that, and then the casualty can breathe normally. And then you would tape it down to make sure it stays in case you have to pick the casualty up.